Incoming message.
It was the dawn of the third age of mankind. Groovy.
Hi-ho. This is me, Kermit the Frog.
Hello there.
Moopsy.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Not a great plan.
Program complete. Enter when ready.
Let's see what's out there. Engage.
Different roads, same old spark. Talking Trek till the street lights spark. We're those sci-fi guys riding warp speed waves. Mack and DT Cammon lighting up the airwaves. Blasters of books, we're geek to the core. Laughing through the lore on those sci-fi guys. Yes, indeed, we are those sci-fi guys, and this is the Those Sci-Fi Guys show. Just two working dudes serving lives with their jobs with a whole lot of love for science fiction and the fun that comes with. We are your hosts. I am P.S. McKay and Kablam! Take that, Andromedans. Take that. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, buddy. let me embiggen us here. Courtesy of Mr. Dave from These Sci-Fi Guys. What a generous flipping gift, man. Like, my God. Yep. See that the Delta that holds it, I have mine over here. But look at this. He so Dave texts me. He goes, I need your address. And I'm like, what? Are we going to be exchanging Christmas cards now? What's going on? And he's thinking like, no, something better. I'm like, all right, well, here we go. And he's like, I'll let you know when the package goes out. I'm like, We've talked about his 3D printer in the past. And so I had a feeling it was 3D printed related. And well, when that box opened and I saw this thing, I was like, oh my goodness.
I was giddy as a schoolboy opening it up. I'm not gonna lie. I knew Dave also, he sent me when he first asked me for my when he first asked for my address. It was kind of funny because he messaged me, and we hadn't connected on social media before, only through email.
Mm-hmm.
But when he messaged me, I'm like, oh hey, is this really Dave? So I know. It up and I looked to make sure that it was like really Dave. I start scrolling through, doing like a 5-minute dive on his social media. All right, that's Dave. I just want to be sure. Like the first thing he says is, "Hey, I wanted your address." I'm like, "Oh, let me make sure." Not today, ISIS.
Not today, ISIS.
Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times
becoming Superman.
We use that term. Yes. So bear with me a moment. It's yellow, so sometimes it doesn't.
It doesn't pick up. I gotcha.
Yes. So this is the J. Michael Straczynski autobiography with foreword by Neil Gaiman. So so Dave knows that I like B5, much like how you and he talk about Stargate. He and I talk B5, which is a fantastic show, of course. But J. Michael Straczynski, the creator, of course, also had wrote for like He-Man and She-Ra, and had a long run in comics, both I believe in DC and Marvel. He had written on the Thor comics, which is why he had a cameo in the original Thor movie.
Define original one, the one from 2011.
Yes.
Okay. Because he guest starred in The Incredible Hulk with back in the 80s.
Yes, I remember that one. Yes.
Yeah.
So he said he was going to send me this, and I did. I started reading it very briefly over the weekend. I read all the forewords and introductions and everything. I was just getting started on chapter 1, and I'm going on vacation this week, so I'm taking it with me.
Yeah, man.
But
take
it is
advantage
not
of that.
a short read.
Oh, that is not. No, not at all.
Yeah.
Dang, dude.
That's impressive.
Yes, it is. The epilogue ends at page 200, or excuse me, 400 and 457 is the last part of the epilogue. In the middle, there's a bunch of pictures, which includes, many pictures of him and other people he's worked with, and yada yada, behind the scenes stuff. Naked pictures of the cast of B5, to include, Peter Jurassic. No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, you're looking at that really hard, man.
No, but I think much like the fact that who was it? It was Brandon Braga who was dating Jerry Ryan. I think JMS was dating what the hell is her name? Who played Lita Alexander?
Oh, okay, yeah, the blonde woman, the blonde
redhead.
Better upgrade.
Talia was the blonde.
Yeah.
And I'm drawing a blank on it because she was also like a stunt double.
I think she still does stunts, doesn't she?
She did. Patricia Tallman. That's right. Yeah, she was with J. Michael Straczynski from 2002 to 2013.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
But yeah, she was like Gates McFadden's stunt double, and I think she was also not a visitor stunt double, but also would occasionally have like background roles.
Yeah. I think she guest starred as well on Deep Space Nine.
That's what I mean, like a background role, I would say barely a guest role. It's more like a crewman with like 2 lines kind of thing.
Something like, that's exactly it. Yeah, you're right. I want to say, first of all, what a generous and kind soul Dave is to think of these things and to go through the trouble of. It's a pain in the ass to ship these things, by the way, guys. Like that book has got to weigh an ass ton.
No,
this doesn't weigh much.
It's just a butt ton.
Oh, okay.
Once you press the 500 pages, once you press 550 pages, it turns into ass ton.
Ass ton. I got you. Forgive me for not understanding the parlance of the metrics, but
one's metric and one's American.
Yeah, but the thing about this isn't just like a single piece that was printed. He printed. I mean, if you look at it, this is a separate piece that was printed. This the actual frame of the gun handle is 2 pieces. The handle. And then this piece,
the knobs, the switches,
the type 1 phaser.
Yeah,
I know it's a separate one.
I was looking at it. I'm like, is this designed to come out?
But I know. I did.
I did look. I'm like, you know what? I see a lot of glue over there. So
I saw glue too, and I'm like, oh, don't do it, man.
Definitely not going to be that guy.
That he had to glue this together. Not just print it, which takes hours, but he then took the care of gluing it together, making sure it all fit and everything. And I'd never have had a TOS phaser. You had one growing up, I remember. Wait, you didn't?
No.
Oh, I could have sworn you did. Well, I came across someone who had a type 2 phaser.
One of our good friends' little brothers had one.
Yeah. Were they north of me? Like behind my house?
They were on the way to the bus stop.
Okay. Then. Okay, I got you. No, I can't speak to that.
Once you got past the cul-de-sac and you kept going up towards the bus stop, there was only one family who was there.
Yeah. I can't speak to that though. I don't remember in that context. Well, anyway, okay. It's fine. Anyway, I have one. I've got a great display case for a display stand to have it sit on, which is a Delta, which is fantastic. So, Dave, thank you. He also sent me another thing. It's not a book, but only in
he 3D printed a middle finger. Wow.
No, even better. The Prometheus from SG-1. Look at this baby. Look at this. Holy crap. It even has the X303 on it. The call. No, you can't. Damn. You might be able to see it right there.
I thought he made you a dustbuster when you first pulled it out. That's awesome.
I know. But look at this. This is, I mean, again, different pieces. So, I mean, you know, one half, the other half. Then
don't turn it upright. It looks bad. Trust me.
Yeah. They didn't think about that because it's well, you know,
maybe
CGI
they did
and everything. Maybe they did. Maybe they tried. Yeah, maybe that was their intention. But the bridge is up here, which is awesome. I mean, this is such a good ship. I love this ship. And thank you, Dave. Thank you. This is a great. This is wonderful. Like I've been giddy. I've been giddy since I got it yesterday. I know he told you not to say anything when you got your package before me because he was tracking.
And I didn't.
No, you didn't, and I appreciate that. I even told you, I'm like, don't tell me. I'm waiting.
I like, said
nary
I
a word.
Can't.
Nary a or yeah, that's what you said. I shan't.
I shan't divulge. Which, by the way, you were harassing me while I was on a mini vacation this past weekend.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
So, okay, Mrs. Kathman and I got tickets at one of the nice Native American casinos, went 2 states over, and we went to see the great comedian Ron White. So.
Oh, hello.
Yep.
How fun. How was he?
Hysterical.
Yeah. Oh, good.
You know, I've been a fan for like 20 plus years. This is the first time I've been able to see him. I've wanted to see him for years. Finally made it happen. And, you know, sometimes you're worried about building it up. And you're like, what if he's, you know, kind of just like, that would be almost worse than if he bombed.
Yeah,
but he crushed. He crushed. I laughed my ass off. I was in tears.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Going to a good comedy show now with me means being worried that I need my inhaler. That's what it means. Ever since I got my lung damage, a good comedy show means I need to take a couple hits.
That's it. Dude, I've been in that position. I've had a couple of those episodes where I've had to like, well, I lost consciousness because I laughed and coughed too hard. I talked to my doctor and he's like, yeah, that'll happen. I'm like, okay, well, you don't seem concerned. That's fine. But I was watching a movie in the movie theater and there was a hilarious scene. It was the Vacation movie from 2015. And I thought I was going to pass out. I really did.
Well,
it's a true thing. That's a real risk. Like, yeah. So good stuff. So I like to end it on a medical note. Anyway, there we go. So Ron White, fantastic. You know, usually a lot of people get nervous about comedians when they get sober. Like, you know, like Ron White got in like the last 6 or 7 years.
I wouldn't say it was sober. He definitely had. If he is, then he had a fucking bottle of something out there.
Interesting, because he had a whole story on Rogan about how he went to Mexico to get clean, be put into like a coma for a couple weeks so that he could do an ayahuasca trip so that he didn't drink anymore. Interesting.
I mean, he could very well be that he doesn't drink anymore, but it's part of his stage persona. Some sort of brown liquid. That could be it.
Okay. Yeah, it could be apple juice, just like this right over here. You know, just like that. But
I don't lie to my fans. I'm drinking real beer.
But good. I'm glad you had a good time. That was in Connecticut, you said?
Yeah. We stayed overnight. We didn't stay at the hotel. That would have been like twice as much as a nearby hotel.
I was gonna say, they probably upcharge when they have talent like that there.
It's always like that.
Yeah. Well, good. It was just you and the wife, or
yeah. Oh yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun. Yeah, I know. Right. Can't take the kiddo.
She wouldn't. I don't think she would have found him as funny.
I would venture to agree on that one. Yeah, probably. But what did she find entertaining, DT?
Well, my kid and I did go see a movie a couple weeks ago.
Pray tell, sir.
We went to see Project Hail Mary, which will be tonight's topic.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I can't share it for some reason. Hold on. Damn
Sharing is caring, dude.
I know. And then the dude abides. We're going to remove you. We're going to... Oh, God damn it. Add to stage. There we are. The Project Hail Mary. And the dude abides. That's going to be our topic for tonight. Not to beat a dead horse, but Dave told me that he saw that movie today.
Oh, good.
For work.
We recommended it to him.
We did. And then like work arrangements kind of allowed him to be able to watch it.
He saw it for work? Or
yeah, work? He did. Well, he's a bus driver, so
what do you do? Take a bus of kids to the movie theater?
Not young kids, but students. He took a bus of students to the movie, and he just stayed, and they just let him have free popcorn, soda, and watch the movie for free, and then everything. He had to point out some plot holes, which regrettably I cannot refute, but they don't ruin the movie for me. But it's funny that he saw it today and we're talking about it today. I was texting him like, literally, we're talking about this tonight, dude. So, yeah, these sci-fi guys, you got to get back on the air, man. I'm jonesing for a new episode. So, that being said, what were your initial impressions on this as you walked out of the theater, DT?
Well, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Why?
It was it's a pretty different premise. I mean, sure, save the world, sci-fi, issue with the sun. Yeah. But what was the explanation for why the sun was losing, what was happening to the sun was really interesting.
It was, and it actually felt like it was a pretty believable premise too. I remember when I saw the trailer, and they were talking, and there's oh gosh, what was that doctor? The woman, the German woman who was in charge of the project. She was detailing to Grace, played by Ryan Gosling, like that the sun was dying.
Eva,
thank you. Eva was detailing that the sun was dying, but all these other stars were dying too around our system, except this one. And I'm sitting there going, this is stupid. Because if we can tell that already, all these stars are like light years away. And then we're suddenly sending someone like 20 light years away, or 10, I think it was 10 light years away. And, at that point, he'd be 100,000 years old. Even if he got to close to the speed of light and stuff like that, it wouldn't work. Well, all of those concerns I had scientifically using Einsteinian physics or relativity were put to bed watching this movie. And I was thoroughly pleased by this. Thoroughly pleased. And Yeah. We don't really want to do like a full-on recap of this, right? Like, it's just
no. Here's what I'll tell you. It was enjoyable. Okay, now this was based on the book by Andy Weir, who also wrote The Martian. Now I didn't read either book, but I have seen both movies, and I did.
The Martian was fantastic.
The Martian was fantastic. The biggest difference between this and The Martian is how big the Martian's cast really was. You could literally not throw a stone without hitting a recognizable face.
They all were in the Marvel MCU. Not all, but like most of them were, or something like that.
Well, even Jessica Chastain wasn't, but she was in the X-Men.
She was in Dark Phoenix.
And Kate Mara was in Fantastic.
Yep. So that's part of the Legends category.
Right, but
Matt Damon played Loki. No, he played Thor, or did he play Loki?
He played an actor playing Loki in both Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, which was hilarious and fun. But you're right, almost everybody in there was in a Marvel movie.
And the guy was an Ant-Man. What's his name? That spoke real fast.
Oh, Pena.
Yeah.
Michael Pena.
Michael Pena was in Ant-Man. He was in this.
It was Michael Pena and Sebastian Stan on Jessica Chastain's team.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I totally forgot. Bucky was there too.
The entire movie was loaded with Marvel sidekicks.
It really was. Good movie. Fun.
Except for Jeff Daniels and Jeff Daniels and Sean Bean. I don't believe have been in Marvel.
Yeah. So the fact that when I first saw that trailer and I saw this,
how about the fact that they had a Lord of the Rings reference in that movie in the scene with Sean Bean?
Oh, I know.
Was it like Project Elrond or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. It was good. And that's totally Andy Weir right there. I mean, it wasn't, but that fits with this kind of writing when it comes to this kind of stuff. And
that's something else, right? So he wrote The Martian. Like I said, I didn't read the book, so I can't see, but the movies had a lot of humor. Both movies had a lot of humor. There was a lot of heart. There was a lot of talking into a recording for posterity.
I'm going to science the shit out of this.
Right. That was it. But, whereas Matt Damon's character was snarky, sarcastic, and a little bit foul-mouthed. Ryan Gosling's character was kind of more nerdy and
cowardly.
Yeah,
he was scared. He didn't want to, and that was what was great about this character. We actually saw someone who was imperfect grow, using his talents against the elements that were being inflicted upon him, and he was able to grow and become a bigger person, and not only that, rise to the need of others, i.e. Rocky. In a way,
I very much enjoyed the interactions with Rocky and Grace. It was literally a first contact situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a peaceful first contact situation for both sides.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really glad that this possible anthropod type creature looked like it was made out of rocks instead of other alternatives.
Adam Sandler's Spaceman. We're looking at you.
Didn't watch it. Couldn't.
I couldn't either. I mean, I can understand why it would be a good movie. It sounded like it would be good, but because it was a giant spider, I can't do it, dude.
Yep.
Like there's a I don't know what it is about Hollywood and giant spiders, but it's also in the gaming industry too, where it's just like you're just flooded with giant spiders to fight.
Nightmare
like Star
fuel.
Wars, Harry Potter, all nightmare fuel.
We lucked out in not getting it in Game of Thrones during the Battle with the Dead.
Oh my God! Yes, can you imagine? We only
because it's
out
in
it's
in the legends. You know, in the world of Ice and Fire, there's pictures of White Walkers riding on giant spiders.
Oh my God!
Fucking nightmare fuel.
No,
it would have looked like that scene. It would have been like that episode of The Mandalorian when they crashed on the ice planet.
Oh God, that was a hard watch.
Nightmare fuel. Yeah,
you and I both that was a hard watch for both of us. That episode.
Yeah, that's basically the one episode I will not. I am not in the mood to rewatch.
Right. Yeah. And
it was a good episode, but.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just the phobia is too strong.
But Rocky was just
endearing. He didn't even have a face. He didn't even have a face. And you know, and the fun part was like you saw elements of how Rocky was as a personality through the instruments outside of his ship. When they were trying to gain attention to Grace when they first came in contact with each other, which is fun. Like those apparatuses, that arm and that signal dish, they kind of had a personality of their own, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
and when they threw the capsule at Grace's ship and everything. You know, they were too fast, and then they threw a second one and it was slower, and they were both learning on each other's behalf what each other's capabilities were. I want to get back to the friendship with Rocky a little bit later. Can we do that?
Sure, rock on, man.
So nice. So here's the fun part about this movie. Andy Weir is a computer programmer. Okay. And I saw him, he was on an episode, he was interviewed by the Critical Drinker, Jordan, Hill? I think so. Critical Drinker, you can find him. Like it was a fun interview. It was nice. He basically was just talking about how he, as a writer, developed the problem of what the astrophage is. He's like, so I need... And he came at it from the angle of a problem solver that only a programmer can be. Like a programmer sees a problem and then they have to walk backwards from that problem to figure out what the solution can be. Like, because you know, when you program code, you have to walk backwards in a sense. Like, all right, here's the goal, but you know, how do I get to this goal? What do I need to? Well, here's the parameters I need to start out with. And then here are the elements that are already surrounding those parameters that I need to contend with. And so that's literally what he did. In this interview, he basically was saying like, so, okay, what is something that could dim a star? We'll have the astrophage. Okay, how can it dim the star? Well, it can, it needs to be super absorbent of radiation, light, in you know, radiation, like gamma rays, all that. It just needs to be super absorbent. Well, then that problem, that entity will then have a lot of energy in and of itself. Okay, well, if it has all that energy inside itself, then it should be able to use that energy to be able to project itself to another star system. Okay, that works. That'll work. And then they go from star system to feed on these stars and reproduce and they feed on the stars, and then they go to planets that are similar to theirs and to their environments, and then they reproduce, and then they move on. Okay, that makes sense. And then when they came up with why this one star system, do you remember the name of the star system that wasn't being affected by the astrophage?
I have it right here.
You do?
Yeah, where is it? I had it. It was Tau Ceti.
Tau Ceti. Okay, about 10 light years from here.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, okay, so if it makes sense why the astrophage wasn't able to diminish the energy and radiation from the Tau Ceti star versus all the other stars around it. I'm not going to divulge it necessarily right now. But that being said, and then he's like, well, as a byproduct, if the astrophage can expel that energy to be able to go to other star systems and then reproduce over there, wouldn't we be able to harness that energy to be able to propel our ships to do that if we could keep it, around the technology that we have right now? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Like he built this, he was like, okay, I want this problem. I want the stars to be dying out. Sure. This is what's going to cause it. And then he just went backwards, and it's like, okay, well, the very thing that's killing us is going to be the thing that can help us go to another star system with the technology that we have right now. Freaking brilliant. Very simple. Nothing, nothing over the top or like not some Deus Ex Machina magical machine that we had been sitting on or anything like that. It's literally using the environment around us to be able to solve the problem that we're being presented with by that same problem, right? And there's something satisfying about that. I mean, you saw it in The Martian too. And fun fact, like in The Martian and in Project Hail Mary, there is no bad guy. It's just man against the elements.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I think at times this is why it's such a good one, right?
Yeah. You don't need to muck it up with good versus evil. You just, and that's the story, right? It's not good versus evil. It's man versus the elements and trying to be better and to overcome his own limitations to do the right thing.
Which is something that when you see in the flashbacks, he struggles with, because he's brought on, well, first off, he was originally discredited. That's why he's teaching middle school science.
Mm-hmm.
He was discredited for thinking outside the box, and that's why this international team approached him, because he did think outside the box. He had thought, and like when he went to check the astrophage, what was it? It's like not all life is
not
water-based or something.
Yeah,
but then he found out, and then he was pissed about that the astrophage had was like water-based,
right?
But I don't think Rocky's species was.
Rocky's was not, but they didn't talk about it. But Rocky's species actually redeemed his research and his theories.
But he's kind of felt like he's been shunned. So he kind of fought a little bit about being dragged into it, and then he gets dragged into it, and he gets a Carl, and it's good to have a Carl.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly a bodyguard. He wasn't necessarily a security guard. Wasn't necessarily a police officer. He was just someone who was there to watch him.
Oh, he was definitely security. But they kind of got on at first, and he's like, I can't get you money, but he's like, I can't get you an expense account. but I have an expense account.
But I have an expense account. And they're just throwing everything from Lowe's or from Home Depot into the shopping cart.
And he gets the stiff security guy to kind of loosen up a little, and they figure some shit out. And then,
shows how endearing Grace is, right? He's not a bad person. He's flawed, but he's not a bad guy.
Well, we all are, right? And that's kind of what you see.
That's why I like that.
Like he's helping now. He's part of the international team where he's helping train the astronauts and all these people, getting them ready for the mission. And they're on this aircraft carrier and he's in this bar and he's looking at everybody like trying to hook up or get shit faced. And he's just like, they're like, meh. And he's talking with Eva, who's like, but she's like the boss. So she's like, it's kind of like it's the boss thing where it's like, I can't really, be a part of it.
This is at the
and so you're like, oh, and so you're like, yeah. And then he's wearing I'm the cute but sexy college professor who wears the sweater vest and wears glasses.
Is that what you get from this? Because I don't get any of that at all.
He's kind of like a more cleaned up Lebowski in this picture.
I mean, I suppose that could work. Suppose, but this sweater thing, no. No, I get it, I understand, but no. That's
it's a little wild. Anyway,
that's funny.
But then there's an explosion and it kills the original crew. And they have to train the backup, but the only thing that they don't have is a scientist. And they're like, you're going. He's like, no, I'm not going. I'm a ginormous wuss. I'm not a hero.
Yeah.
And she's like,
well, funny part though, we don't learn this until the end of the movie too.
Yeah, towards like probably about 80% of the way through the film.
Yeah.
Because they never address how he got on there. Right? Because
he wakes up
so confused.
He wakes up. He doesn't have a memory. Like the movie starts with him on the ship, and he doesn't have a memory of what happened. He comes out of hibernation.
Carl drugged him.
Carl did drug him. He was the one that put it in. And continued, DT. I'm sorry. I know I interrupted you. I apologize.
Well, it was a little uncomfortable too, that scene. Like, you've got a guy who's terrified, and while you kind of understand the perspective of the scientists and the government, you're like, dude, you're the only person alive who we can get. We've got to go now. It's like if we don't go, by the time we get somebody else trained, there's millions of people will have died by the time we get this problem solved. Any delays now will cost millions of human lives in however many years it takes to get out there and try to solve it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And you understand why Grace doesn't want to go. But
which is funny because he's like still kind of an outsider, and you're like, it's not like you've got like it's not like he's got a wife and kids or anything. But then you're also like, but it's also your life. Like, but they basically told him it's a suicide mission. There's not enough fuel, even the astrophage fuel. There's not enough fuel to get him there and get him back.
No.
So it's a one-way trip.
And oh my God, yeah. But you understand, like I said, you understand why he doesn't want to go, but you also have that feeling. But you, at this point though, when you've seen him not want to go, you've seen how he has been on this mission already. And you're like, you're completely capable of doing this, and you can do this. Like, you're disappointing me because you are forfeiting Earth's future because of your weakness here. And all it is a weakness of the mind. It is not a weakness of your capability. That's the key. And that was the conflict that the audience was supposed to feel. It was well done. Again, it's an everyman. Grace is an everyman. Super smart, but he's still an everyman. Because he's plucked out of his own comfort zone and put into an extraordinary situation. That is the hero's arc. That is the hero's journey. And he
this
does
is less than this is less than a reluctant hero, as a guy who's got to kind of like claw his way through the dark for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And then meet a sentient rock with 4 appendages on it. 5. Oh, sorry, forgot about that.
Which was a little strange, like the 5th appendage, right? It was. I think it gave it a bit. One, it helped it look less terrifying, and 2, it gave it a kind of I don't know, just the extra appendage seemed to give it just like that much more of an alien quality to a degree.
It did. Yeah, I mean, because everything on Earth is done in pairs, right? Even octopi have 8 arms. So I'm going to get a better picture of Rocky here. Just got to find it. So, when you see an odd number, either it implies that it was done unintentionally, like through the environment, or there's something that is not of this Earth. I know I'm really reading into that. I get that. Don't accuse me of that. I get it. I'm
No, you're right. I think it is pretty alien.
Now this is the best picture we got of him. Look at him. Look at that guy right there. Oh my God, the best friend in the universe. Can we just talk about that?
And he really was. And what's funny? Like Rocky was a bit of a smartass too.
Yeah, he really was.
But he wasn't like obnoxious about it. But it's clear, like he's kind of like the salty engineer a little.
Yes.
He's the engineer. The other guy's the scientist, right?
Yep.
One seems to be more conceptual. The other one's a little bit, maybe it's a little on the nose, so to speak. But one's the more concrete, down to earth.
Dare I say, lacking an emotional quotient. How about that?
No, I would not say he was definitely emotional. Remember when Grace?
He was emotional, but
see Grace go to sleep.
Yeah, no, I get that. I understand. No, but I'm saying because of his unfamiliarity with human custom, he lacked that emotional quotient to a certain degree initially, especially when Grace is like on his video diary going, I have a new roommate and he's fine, but he's just constantly wanting to be around every minute. And he can see through walls. I don't have privacy. And he constantly comments about everything.
And he's got
Rocky
amazing
can't hear
hearing.
you. Rocky can hear you. What are you saying? Why are you saying that, Grace? You can hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Damn it.
It was also funny when Rocky figures out how to make this xenonite bubble for him to be able to, and then he's rolling around and like smashing into everything, and he's like, what is this? What is that? What is it?
Hamster ball. But he was so eager to want to be on Grace's ship. He was eager to have that camaraderie.
Well, he'd been alone a long time.
Eridians are a very social species, which was implied. And
it's funny.
Been alone
his entire crew had died, something like 30 or 40 crew members. He's been alone for
40 years before. Years. Yeah.
And
so
obviously they're long-lived species.
Yeah. Like what?
He's got a mate at home that he hasn't seen in like 60 years or something like that.
And he's desperately devoted to her or it. Mm-hmm. I mean, we don't know. I say her because Rocky's voice is a man and he chose that voice. So whatever. It gets weird,
funny.
dude. It gets weird if we like parse it out, but yes.
Because Meryl Streep actually provided a little voice.
She did.
One of the
You're
rejected. Right. he's like, is there nothing she can't do? You know?
Yeah. No, it's true. But Rocky is the one that initiates the contact. He's the one that chases Grace down. And it's because he's just
why he initiated first contact?
Well, I'm assuming it was because he's desperate for companionship, but
no. Eridani is basically the placement of Vulcan.
What? No, Vulcan is a star system that's super close by, but
no, it's basically the star system that they use.
Is it really
Vulcan? Yes,
it's like super far away.
No, it's
not. Wait, no, hold on. I'm thinking. Okay, so Eridani is like twice as far from. Was it Tau Ceti? What was the name of the system that they're at?
Tau Ceti, yeah,
it's twice as far from Tau Ceti as Earth is. So Earth is close to both star systems, but like the Earth is like the middle point, basically. Okay, never mind.
I looked it up because something was in my head about Vulcan and Eridani, and I looked it up, and they're like, yeah, basically, Vulcan is this star system. I'm like, okay. That's why he initiated first contact.
Andy Weir is a Star Trek fan, so that's actually a very subtle nod. I like it a lot. He also got into a little bit of controversy when he was on Critical Drinkers podcast talking about New Trek, but we're not going to talk about that.
Because Rocky is very endearing. He's one of the most
Rocky is super endearing.
One of the most endearing sci-fi characters in years.
I want, get yourself a friend who is like Rocky.
Oh my God. when they finally figured out how to fight the astrophage by figuring out that there must have been a predator and discovering a microscopic predator on the planet. Mm-hmm. And
life is reason. Life is reason. Life is reason.
No. And he figured that out, and then they figured out a way to collect this stuff, but it's from like 10 miles into the atmosphere. The ship's getting all banged up, and the G-forces are out of control. And Grace basically gets knocked out, and Rocky can't get the engine started. And he basically frees Grace, having to break out and be severely injured by this atmosphere.
Right.
The human atmosphere. And it's just
got an
so
ammonia
brutal.
Atmosphere.
It's so brutal to watch. Watch him, like burn, and as he's fighting it, and then you're like, oh, and you see like all the trails of like rubble and stuff afterwards when Grace wakes up, and it's like,
yeah,
oh no, please tell me they didn't kill Rocky. I was already was at the point where you can't kill Rocky.
That is a tough moment.
If you kill Rocky, his entire race dies. You can't do that to me in this movie.
And then they made a point. They made a point earlier as you were about to. I interrupted you on this one. But they made a point that Rocky wanted to be with Grace because if Grace sleeps, he needs to watch over Grace. Because when they sleep, they have a custom of one always watches over the other when they sleep to make sure that they wake up again.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand that, but it's endearing.
And so Rocky watched over Grace while he was sleeping. And then when Rocky was sick, Grace watched over him. Tried to figure out a way to treat him.
Yep. He did. He figured out how to replicate the predators to to grow the predator cultures so that they can make more
survive
for the astrophage and survive. And he did all that. Rocky was out of commission, but Grace was always by Rocky. He's like, Rocky, I'm watching over you. I'll watch over you. But get better. And like he would sleep leaning against the I don't know, the terrarium wall and everything. And God, what a tough. I mean, inside I was like, I know he's gonna survive. But that goes to show the good nature of like how endearing that friendship was. And
and the interesting thing is because of how different, Rocky's physiology is, how different, how long he can survive and stuff is he gave Grace enough astrophage fuel to make it home. Instead of sending these
let's
torpedoes.
talk about that for a moment. Well, why did he do that? Because Grace hid from Rocky the fact that this was a one-way trip.
It was a suicide mission.
It was a suicide mission. I don't have enough astrophage to get home. And Rocky gets pissed. Like he doesn't get pissed. He gets panicked. Like, why? Why Grace die? Why Grace die? Like Rocky saw his entire crew die in front of him. Part of it was because they didn't understand what radiation was. And the other part was they didn't understand relativity. So they had a hard time getting to Tau Ceti. That's according to Andy Weir, by the way. I think it's more expressed in the books than it is in the movie, but they do mention that they have a hard time understanding relativity. But Rocky panics. It's like, Grace not dying. Grace, why die? And then
very childlike too.
Yeah, it is very childlike. And Grace explains to him like, well, I just don't have enough astrophage. And he goes, how much do you need? And then, Grace, I don't know if Grace actually tells him or if that question was asked, but, Rocky does the calculations in his head and he goes, Rocky have astrophage to give you. Rocky, I can't ask that of you. And Rocky goes, giving you the astrophage only adds another 4 years to my trip. To help you survive, you must have it. And so wonderful. Like they, and that's when Grace like breaks down and he cries like, oh my God, there's actually hope. And it's because of Rocky, this weird alien who wanted nothing more than companionship, really.
Get yourself a Rocky, man.
Get yourself a freaking Rocky.
He was as loyal as a dog, but as
but as intelligent as a scientist. That's really what it is. He was a scientist dog.
He was Chewbacca.
He was Chewbacca. Yeah,
he was Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. Nice. Well done, sir. You should retire right now tonight. Like, I'm out. Here we go.
Like Seinfeld.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. I really, and it really was the companionship. I don't know what it is, but you don't see that kind of stuff in movies lately. You don't see that kind of growth. Like you don't see characters like Grace who are good people but flawed, talented but flawed, work through those problems like you saw in this movie. And then they add this element of a friendship. You're not seeing that kind of stuff as of late, unless you could think of something. Like this movie has a different flavor than what's been being pumped out by Hollywood as of late.
Well, this is different than like an enemy mine or whatever it is, where like they're two opposing, pilots or soldiers from warring races having to learn to work and survive together. This is actually a very peaceful first contact, and it's a progressive relationship where they're learning, and Grace is starting to interpret sounds as certain things, which enables them to develop a language, translator. So there was a lot of heartwarming parts about it, right? They both at times sacrificed, risked their lives for each other, right?
Yeah.
And Grace is on his way back, and he like falls asleep, and then he's awoken.
I want to stop you real fast. When Rocky was in his comatose state, recovering from his appearance, his exposure to the atmosphere, he left a note saying, "Save Earth, save Eridia."
Mm-hmm.
And then, and then, so that's what Grace used that moment to be able to try to figure out how to use the predators for the astrophage. And then you could continue. They went on their separate ways.
Right. And it was a very heartfelt goodbye. They gave each other little gifts.
I felt that. I'm like, you are good friends and you're never going to see each other. But
Grace gives him a computer.
Yeah, the laptop. It contains all of human knowledge right here.
And how excited Rocky was for it. Yeah, amazed.
I know.
And like, you're like, Lee, Rocky, he's got their technology is so fascinating too. But they exchanged it, and he's on his way back, and he's jolted awake by it issues, and he determines that
Grace.
I guess it's the
there's a containment failure.
Right, there is a containment failure. It's very Star Trek. There's a containment failure because the predators are actually, I guess, eating through the xenonite or something.
Yeah.
And
which xenon is a noble gas, but because of
it's fine.
No. It's actually scientifically done. It shouldn't be able to be a solid unless it's frozen. But because of the atmosphere with the phosphorus and the ammonia, it turned into a solid situation. So fine.
It's low-born.
Yeah. But yes, the xenonite.
Which is very awkward when you say it. But it was neat, but now Grace is under a moral quandary again. He's like, I got enough fuel to get home. I've got the cure for Earth. But I have figured out how to reseal this containment. Rocky, however, is not going to be so lucky. So no. I've only got enough fuel. So he's like, he makes the decision himself.
His ship is made out of xenonite.
Right. So he's like, Rocky, he's never going to make it home. And his planet's going to die.
He'll lose containment of the astrophage, and he'll lose the shielding on the ship, and he's going to die a very painful radioactive death.
And so will his planet. And his planet will die. So Grace gets the chance to make the choice. Yeah. Spoilers ahead. Grace gets the chance to make the decision himself this time, to make the sacrifice. I'm not going home. I have got to go save Rocky. And he turns around and he finds Rocky.
I mean, he knew the last projection, the trajectory of Rocky's ship. And he knows where Rocky's planet is. Dave brought this up. He's like, how would he have known where Rocky's ship would be? I'm like, you could do this. You could calculate this.
Yeah, but that's still a lot of wide open space.
It is, but you can hone in, especially if there's like some kind of radio signal or something. Whatever. Plot's got a plot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to suspend some disbelief on some of these. So,
yeah,
but he goes and he reunites with Rocky, and he helps him figure out the containment after he's launched. Because that's one of the things that they figured is it's a one-way trip, but they've got these rockets. They're like probes. They're like, we'll launch a probe into this nebula to study. But he loads all the data and copies in like these packets
of his logs,
copies of his logs and the containment canisters of the predators, and he launches them, and they arrive at Earth. And I'm assuming it's something close to like 10 years after he left, something like that. And Eva's older, and they get everything, and they do manage to save the world. And then they flash forward, and you're like, wait, how did Grace get home? He's like walking around in the atmosphere. I'm like, is this a dream sequence? Nope.
Then you see the robot from his ship in his apartment. You're like, oh wait, that's different.
So you open the door, and he's walking on the beach, and you're like, where is this? And then Rocky rolls up. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And they start pulling back, and it's a giant terrarium. He's on Eridani.
Yep.
He went home with Rocky, helped Rocky help his planet, and they built him a home on the beach. And he's now a school teacher for Eridani children.
Well, they repaired the Hail Mary.
They did, but he also kind of seems like he's kind of gotten used to being there. So it kind of led him to a debate as to whether or not he was actually going to go home in the first place.
It does. Yeah, it ends ambiguously like that. But he's got value on Eridani. Is it Eridani or Iridia or Erida?
Yeah,
I think it's Erida.
Eridani.
Eridani. Okay. So
40 Eridani A is the name of the system.
Okay, so he's got value on Eridani, and he's teaching these young ones, the children, through this screen and everything. It's cute.
It's like a whole lot of little rock monsters sitting there waving at him.
Yeah, it is, and I don't know. I really appreciated the fact that he sent the solution home to Earth, and then he saved Rocky. And my God, when he was able to dock with Rocky's ship, and you saw Rocky crawling through the darkness to get back, like he's doing it gingerly, by the way. Like he knows something is wrong, it's terrible. But he can't. But he doesn't have any solutions for it. And then he sees Grace, and he's just crawling gingerly through the darkness back to the screen at the docking station. And Grace goes, I got you, buddy. We're gonna get you home. I got you. Like, oh, I don't know. I kind of, it got a little dusty in the theater for me.
Yeah, it was. Again, there was a lot of heartwarming parts of this. The friendship with Grace and Rocky, both of them overcoming and risking their lives multiple times to not only save each other, but save their planet. Working together.
That last one.
Neither one of them would have been able to save their planet without the other.
No, they needed each other. They absolutely did. You're absolutely correct. And it was that astronomical cosmic turn of events that allowed them to be able to work together. And God dang, the last time I was affected by a movie like Project Hail Mary was the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I just walked out like it had such
It's
a
because
good
they had the same
feeling at the
soundtracks.
end. It kind of did, right? Did it end with pop music playing? I forget.
Well, they did the same thing. 38 tracks, 14 songs, 30 styles, the Beatles. There was a lot of.
But the music didn't have the same personality as it did in Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy used the music as a personality extension of Quill. This was just kind of in the background, just to expose to Rocky some of the culture. Some, like not all the music was heard by Rocky.
But you have the Beatles, you have Chris Christopherson, you have Neil Diamond.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand.
Yeah. But my point is you get that music kind of Guardians, but also the music kind of reflected the movie, much like the disco that was played consistently in The Martian is done ironically because of how much Matt Damon's character hates the disco.
But that's all he could listen
to. That's all they had.
Yeah. Which is redonkulous when you think about it. Like, I mean, how much computer space were they hard up on to only limit disco from the 70s? Like,
that was, he found it on the commander's laptop. It was something. I don't know if maybe everybody else's shit was on their computer, was on their stuff that they managed to get to the ship. I don't know. All I know is it was kind of done ironically, which was part of how funny that piece was.
That's very true. It's very true.
So, I like how it was also nicknamed Rocky because they were watching the movie Rocky together.
That's true. They were. They had like a little holodeck area that was just like a volume with surrounding screens and everything.
Yeah, it was almost like being in a IMAX theater, like a surround IMAX. It does. It's like the volume.
Smart.
I'm surprised they didn't
That's
get sued
smart,
by
by
Disney.
The way. That is something that definitely needs to be put on Starship when they go to Mars, by the way. So, and I'm sure Elon's looking into it and everything, but great idea. Okay. We talked about what we liked about this. Is there anything else that you want to bring up that you like about this movie?
I liked watching it with my kid.
Yeah, I know, right? It was a very accessible movie to be able to just watch with a kid. I brought the boy, and he just loved every second of it. Like, we had such a great conversation about it. Just, I brought up earlier about how I feel like time is limited with my children off the air, but this movie gave me that special moment, and one of those special moments to be able to share.
Well, it was another one of those movies of found family in some ways.
It absolutely was. Yeah, and I like that. You're not seeing a lot of that in Hollywood right now. Like this movie stands out like a sore thumb when it comes to universal themes.
It's a sci-fi movie that isn't post-apocalyptic either.
Right. And it wasn't. I mean, it was post-apocalyptic in a sense, but it had hope. That's the key, right?
It was pre-apocalyptic and prevention of apocalypse. Yeah,
that's much better. That's a much better, aspect of that. I agree. I'll retract my.
But this movie is supposed to take 6 years from now. I think the notes say 2032.
Something like that. Yeah.
These Andy Weir movies seem to be like near future, so the technology seems feasible in like 10 years or something like that.
Much like the Prometheus is 20 years old, technically. So,
but that's what it makes you feel when you watch The Martian. You're like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, no, it absolutely worked. Yeah, and I like how Andy's methodology is. I want it realistic. I want it believable technology. I don't want it to be magic. And that's the programmer in him that influences his writing. And my God, when he was describing that, I just sat there going, "Oh, yeah, you're definitely a computer programmer." With that,
but even Jane Foster said in Thor, "What is magic but science we just don't understand yet?"
Yeah, but as a writer, it's too easy to fall into the magic situation to, make the thing happen. Andy Weir walked backwards from the problem to create a reasonable situation.
Yeah, I know. Backwards planning, man. I was trying to teach people how to do that when I was up at my corporate headquarters a couple of weeks ago for training, and we were doing breakout sessions.
Oh, yeah?
Nobody's jumping up, and I'm like, all right, well, here's the scenario. Let's backwards plan it. And people like, huh? My boss was like, ooh, show me what you got. Like, okay. Like, dude, you've got a guy who used to plan deployments of every major Guard and Reserve unit on the Eastern Seaboard. Let me at it. So, and it's interesting because like this, like when they opened up the capsule and it would like have like the rotating piece, he had gravity.
Yeah.
I love the awkward when he would get into the chair. Pilot detected. No, pilot detected.
Not a pilot. And he kind of had to learn how to move the ship and everything. And
the interesting thing about this movie is it's really just a Ryan Gosling movie, right? Whereas The Martian, they cut back to the the shuttle crew. They cut back to the people on Earth
in NASA.
And,
yeah,
and there was just a huge cast. This really doesn't have that big of a cast unless you bounce back into the flashback scenes.
Flashbacks, even the flashbacks are pretty, small in scope. Like, the biggest scene they had was the big conference table on the aircraft carrier.
Yeah. And there's literally, this dude is the only majorly international recognizable face, except maybe for the girl who was the AT&T girl.
Oh, that's right. She was in this. I forgot about that.
Milana Weintraub.
Milan Weintraub, yeah.
She played, the Russian engineer. Like, it was all in the flashbacks. She's, when you get there, her and the Chinese commander are already dead. He's the only guy there.
Yep.
So it's wild.
Yeah. And that's the other factor. So both he and Rocky lost their crew. So it's literally only them that they can rely on in order to do this. And they did it. They pulled it off fantastically.
Not even Rocky. Rocky wasn't even voiced by like a big name actor either. The guy, because Rocky is actually a lot of, and here's the neat part. Rocky is a puppet.
Yeah, I know. I sat there through the whole movie thinking it was all CGI.
Mostly. I mean, there was definitely CGI, but much like Grogu is a model and has puppets, but there's definitely, like, when he's moving and stuff, there's CGI and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think, but I was pleasantly surprised that they did puppetry for Rocky, and that was great. Like, it's those little bits of cinema magic that make it the difference right there.
It gives you a little Star Wars-y quality. Puppeteers,
Well, there's a
some
tactile
practical effects
factor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this gives you a little bit of a more equal Mandalorian and Grogu footing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Kind of a cute, spunky sidekick.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's that. There is that. Grades, sir. What do you give this one?
You go first.
A+.
Yeah,
I was thoroughly delighted by this movie. Honestly, there are flaws to it, but not many. I can get by.
It's an A+, but it doesn't have to be perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
It can be a 97 or a 98.
Yeah, I mean, the overall message was a good message. It was a humanistic message that was talking about bettering yourself, overcoming your own personal barriers, and relying on the friends that you make on the journey along the way.
Not only that, but it also was people trying to figure out how to communicate without violence.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, because they realized they needed each other, right? I mean, you can't fight someone if ultimately you're still going to die. What's the point?
Yeah. But people have made that mistake before, and
I know.
And overcoming
humans have made that mistake before. Eridians, we don't know.
Sure. They defeated the scissor monsters.
Yeah. Hey, Tuck.
If Ryan Gosling had shown up as a piece of paper, Rocky would have been screwed.
Yeah, he would have. Oh, that's funny. Rock, paper, scissors joke, everybody. That's why you said scissors earlier. So.
But is this actually rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock? Because they are from Vulcan.
Damn. It would only work if Ryan Gosling was involved in some kind of Star Trek project, but he's not. So. Oh, yeah, buddy. I know. My dog is super needy today. I don't know why.
It's all good. I think we've hit a good stopping point. This was an excellent movie. It was one that you could actually go into feeling good about and come out feeling good about.
And great for the family.
Is it perfect? No. Is it pretty close? Yeah, at least as far as a watch. Sure. If you're looking for absolutely positively 100% scientific proof, if you're going to the movies for that, take a deep breath, bro.
I know, right?
I'm just saying.
I completely agree. Agree.
This was one of those ones where, and you shouldn't switch off your mind to watch this, because you do need to
you need your
mind
with. Yeah. You need your mind in this movie.
But there's a lot of heart to it, and it's enjoyable, and you're right. It's good for the family. There's like no violence, there's like no vulgarity. It's like PG vulgarity,
It's literally, what can we do to save everyone? Because this is the mission. Like, this is what we need to do. And again, in this age where a lot of dystopian stuff happens, this movie is not dystopian. Spoiler alert, everybody. But
if he failed, it would become dystopian, but he didn't.
It would have been pretty bad. It would have been, I mean, yeah. I seriously thought, yeah. I was struggling with the idea of what he needed to do, either go to Earth or save Rocky. I could understand him going straight to Earth and not saving Rocky, and that's probably the point. That was the point. I'm really glad that he went to save Rocky, though.
Well, he had the ability to send his data and information home so that it could help. The fact that he was basically on borrowed time anyway. With this, he wasn't even supposed to go back. So he had like a new lease on life, and now that's, I think, what also made the choice better for him is that he had a choice this time. And this time he chose to do the right thing, not do an entire sentient race, and not to let his friend die. Even if it's as simple as, I just don't want to let my friend die, completely get it. But this guy went and saved 2 worlds. I'm saying that
He
Rocky
totally
didn't
did.
help. He did.
Rocky was instrumental into it too. You know,
But
I mean,
Rocky,
he provided the materials.
Sure. Without Rocky, they don't even get that far. Okay. So it's clearly a partnership, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it falls down to the choices that he actually made the second go around. I think that's what makes this a real winner.
A good story of redemption, and a good story of the tale of, you know, the human heart and companionship, and non-human heart too, you know. So,
or whatever Rocky has.
Exactly. Man, DT. Good stuff. I'm so glad you saw this movie. I'm glad you liked it. I told you
it makes it a lot easier.
I told you immediately that you needed to see it, and I'm glad that I didn't oversell it to you, which could easily have happened, because I was just so overwhelmed by it. But hey, let's take into account, like, hey, let's enjoy the fact that we're both enjoying this one project right here, right? As opposed to me just hating everything. So, all right, on that note, everybody, until the next time, we are those sci-fi guys. I'm PS McKay. Until then, you guys keep dreaming. We'll keep working. So long, everybody.
And I'm GT Cav, man. And from the high ground, thanks, Dave.
Blam!
Mack's got a pen that can warp the stars. DT's got stories from cavalry scars. One writes the worlds where the heroes fly, the other old tanks under desert sky. From sandbox sports to the final frontier, 2 kids with dreams and a 6-pack of beer. Different roads, same old spark. Talking Trek till the streetlights spark. We read those sci-fi guys riding warp speed waves. Mack and DT cannon lighting up the airwaves. Blasters of books, we're geek to the core. Laughing through the lore on those sci-fi guys. Mack spins a tale about a rogue AI. DT counters with, man, I drove that guy. From doom to doom, we argue the stakes while the coffee gets cold and the pizza box breaks. Childhood pals in a grown-up fight for the best damn death scene on a Friday night. Pixels or pages, we're never done. 2 working stiffs chasing alien sun. We're rebel sci-fi guys riding warp speed waves. Mack and DT cabin lighting up the airwaves. Blasters or books, we're geek to the core. Laughing through the lore on those sci-fi guys. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, yeah. No capes, no powers, just regular days. But we'll save the galaxy in our own ways. Mack's drafting novels in the dead of night. DT's got tank tracks, turns them into light. Together we're louder than a hyperdrive screen. 2 regular dudes living the sci-fi dream. Yeah, yeah, we're with those sci-fi guys riding warp speed waves. Mack and DT coming, lighting up the airwaves. From the sandbox to the stars, we'll never say die. Tune in, geek out, those sci-fi guys. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Next week, Blade Runners or Replicants. Bring the Bourbon Rider boy, it's gonna get real.